Today I want to talk about perfection versus progress. You can either finish a project or you can make it perfect, but you usually can't do both unless you change your perception of what perfect is. And to me, perfect is when it's done and you know it. That's when it's perfect. It's not perfect because every single chisel mark is in the right direction, or every paint stroke is raised the same height, or every curve is perfect in your sculpture. Sometimes those natural deviations, those imperfections, are what makes it perfect. So don't get caught up in the textbook idea of what perfect is. There's plenty of robots and artificial intelligence type of shit coming our way that can handle that. You don't need to worry about that. All you need to do is let your creativity flow and not get hung up on irrelevant definition of what perfection is. Beauty's an eye of the beholder, as they say. I love rusty stuff. Look at my roof. Getting ready for a garage sale. So my house is a mess, but I love imperfections. Just take a look. So, the steel patina on rust, the divots from this chain being in the water for years. This piece of wood here, it's like almost a work of art by itself. So that's what I'm saying. Nature makes perfect things all the time, and they're constantly inconsistent. They're not all the same. They are iterations. And the less you get hung up on being perfect, the better chance you have of making more iterations. And when you practice those iterations, you become more and more one with that state of mind that you need to be in, that flow state that gets you to a place where your art flows more often, and you're aware of the things around you that feed that. And once you dive in, you can enjoy the process and not worry so much about perfection. I think a lot of times we get hung up on perfection. We're thinking about, what are people gonna think about this? Are people gonna think it's perfect? And I can't tell you how many times I had a half-started project sitting around when I had somebody come in to buy a piece of art, and they would see the half-finished thing and want to buy that. Also, usually, sometimes they'll just change their mind, and it's mind-boggling to an artist, because we're like, it's not even done. But what's not done to you is perfect to someone else. So you just got to find that sweet spot where you know how to let go and call it finished and not overwork it. Because if you overwork your project, you'll go right past the point when it was done and make it a whole new thing when you could have made 2 things or 5 things. So don't get hung up on the details. Enjoy that process. Let it flow through you. Let it flow through you. And just kind of be not anxious, but like aware that there's a point where you can stop and be open to when that is going to be. what I'm trying to say is, just kind of keep your eyes open or your mind open to the fact that you don't need to push to this state of perfection that's going to sabotage whatever you're working on. There's it's like being on a trail, and if you're so focused on looking in front of you, you might not see that little turn to the right that takes you down to a beautiful place with a waterfall, and you want to get there. That waterfall is the finished product. And some people, there's different types of artists. Some people spend their life, or spend months and months perfecting one sculpture, or a painting that takes years. And that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But the more you create, the better you get and the more fulfilled you'll be. And, and also I'm a big fan of not hoarding my own art. I like to get it out when I fall in love with pieces, and I like to keep them. So does my wife. She likes to keep my art. I was like trying to make a little bit of money here. But so you can't be afraid to let it go. And then you're not even looking at it anymore. But somebody else is going to love it. So again, don't let perfection get in the way of progress. See you next time.